It's been a long time, but I remember it well. Just like the photo we keep on the shelf. Oh, we were young. Oh, we were young.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. I am a big nerd on political ads. I really like political ads. I like consuming political ads. Maybe that's something that I need to go see a psychiatrist about. The reason why I enjoy political ads is, one, they're getting more and more creative, and it's kind of interesting to see how people are taking a different tact and telling stories. That's important because this is a way that new generations are consuming information. They don't like being lied to. They like authenticity. And to the point of authenticity, when you have a political campaign that is inauthentic and that is casting a very different perspective on the world, Donald Trump's a threat to democracy, doom and gloom and dictatorship, and he's Hitler. When your entire campaign is built on chaos and division and anger and darkness, then you are reflecting something about yourself there. Instead, and in stark contrast with what Democrats have been promoting for quite a while, threat to democracy, he's Orange Hitler. Like in stark contrast, Donald Trump's campaign's ads have been inspiring, actually, and uplifting, and have brought about some pretty special and truly remarkable moments that actually make you believe in America a little bit more. And nothing better than this. We've seen a lot of ads from Trump this year, but you're not going to top this one. This is a ad, Make America Great Again, that was shared by the official Trump account that says, you know what? We're going to live through these times and we're going to win. That's something. It's a work of art. This is a hand-drawn, hand-animated and hand-drawn the old way. And you can feel it in the authenticity. Listen to this.
Greatness doesn't discriminate. It doesn't see where you're from, what you look like, or who you know. Greatness is for those who work for it, for those who keep moving forward. Greatness is for anyone willing to fight for it.
Uplifting, right? Beautiful. There's an account called Red Power Tie that produced a version 1 of this in 2020, and it was the best political ad that I had seen in a very, very long time, and it gives you all the feels, right?
If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward.
There's this scene right here where they turn Chuck Schumer into a clown. It's just for like a few frames, but you gotta love it.
The more certain
you're
you
all
should be.
hand drawn. A Power Tie, the creator here. These are all hand drawn. Look at that. That's great. Blink and you'll miss it, man. Blink and you'll miss it. We love this style of ad. JD Vance actually released a ad that took us by huge surprise today. Talk about leaning into the closing arguments here. JD Vance has the best VP ad I've ever seen in my life. It's going viral right now. JD Vance, absolute powerful ad. This is released. Let's see. It's done hundreds of thousands of views, and I've been missing this version of JD Vance. I think that they should have released this with the selection of JD Vance for VP, the explanation of who JD Vance is and what he stands for, and more importantly, who he wants to represent. when Donald Trump talks about forgotten men and women of America, you don't get more forgotten than Appalachia. If the flooding and devastations of the hurricane is revealing that, certainly is right now. Here we go.
A lot of people feel like the American dream is further and further away. That if you work hard and play by the rules, it's a little bit harder to get ahead. It's a little bit harder to support a family, a little bit harder to buy a home. The world I grew up in was one where I think for the first time really in American history, my parents' generation did not expect their children to necessarily have a better life than they did. And you saw that in all kinds of different ways, but there was this sense growing up in Middletown in the 1990s that a lot of people didn't expect the future to be better than the past, and that's a really unique and a really tragic thing. The jobs started to disappear from that community, drugs started to move in, hopelessness started to move in, and so a lot of people who really knew that the future would be better than the past actually found a world that was a lot more difficult and a lot more challenging. I wrote Hillbilly Elegy because I wanted to give people a sense of what it was like to live in a community like mine. I didn't think a whole lot of stories were told about white working class Americans. I didn't think a lot of stories were told about people who were struggling with some of the problems we were struggling with, joblessness, drug addiction, and so forth. And I thought that I could tell a story that would make people understand my family a little bit better, and maybe in the process, understand the struggles of a lot of families. I come from the places that I want to represent, and what we need is to stop sending people that are of the DC swamp. We need to send people who are of the places they aim to represent. I want to fight for the people that I come from.
The American media has been laundering foreign disinformation. It is disgusting. Instead of talking about the crises in our country, they try to silence the people who are experiencing them. Who do you want answering the phone? Do you want a person who hides from the friendly American media? Or do you want a person who takes a bullet to the head and stands up and says, fight, fight, fight? Kamala Harris, you ought to have respect enough for your own people to enforce their border laws and listen to them. Listen to them when they complain about it. Don't pretend they're bad people. We're not bad people for loving this country. You're a bad person for doing this to the country in the first place.
Trump's campaign has obviously been rolling these out, and I think they've been good. I think they've been good. I have a very different take on political ads than most, and I feel like there's some missed opportunities, but there are some times when they really, really hit the hammer hits the nail here, and it's pretty special. Here's what President Trump released on the 4th of July, Make America Strong Again.
Before thousands were brutally killed, including Americans. Before Iran helped Hamas plan the attack, killing Americans. Before Biden gave billions of taxpayers' money to Iran. Trump played hardball with Iran. Destroyed ISIS. Kept the Middle East at peace. Kept us out of endless wars. Through strength.
History shows very plainly that evil only respects one thing: unyielding strength. When I'm back in the White House, our enemies will know if you spill a drop of American blood, we will spill a gallon of yours.
President Trump, the strength we need to make America strong again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
And, nobody asked me, right? And I don't run Donald Trump's ads. But if you were to ask me, I would say you have to get Tucker Carlson to narrate an ad. Just pay him whatever it takes to get Tucker Carlson to narrate your advertisement, because you really can't do better than this. And I don't think this should be an official ad for President Trump. Here we go.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them. The country they built, the country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years, has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's faults, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. At least he doesn't hate them for their weakness. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. That was true 4 years ago when Trump came out of nowhere to win the presidency, and it's every bit as true right now. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If the people in charge had done a halfway decent job with the country they inherited, if they'd cared about anything other than themselves, even for just a moment, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.